Welcome. The first official, I guess we'll call it, calling the podcast Empower.
Okay.
All right. Like Empower M after my last name.
All right.
And this is the first official one. So Empower at Oceanport Paddle Club. And I don't exactly know the format yet and what it will evolve into, but I want it to be spontaneous, have a semi-topic, and let the guests talk mostly. Today I'll talk a little bit because I want to introduce myself to if we have any new, well, everyone's new because no one's seen this before. So I guess I'll introduce myself at one point. And I think we are going to record this on Mondays. Today's Saturday. But Monday mornings, you're on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
You can help. And I'm going to have a guest. And I'm using some pretty cool technology here. I just want to make sure that it is working. I'm going to have it auto switch. Says that it's done. Switching order done. Random. Let me just see this real quick. A lot of this stuff up. Oh, start auto switching. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, cool. I can see the logo behind you. You just switched to you. So anyway, all right. So Empower at Oceanport Paddle Club, the inaugural podcast. And I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have here than Sean White. I'm going to have you give me a bunch of information about you in a bit.
Okay.
I figured you were a good first guest because you have experience at this, and I want you to talk about that later, and we'll revisit that. I know you have a lot of experience with it, and I appreciate that. I'm going to give a brief introduction to me first because I'll be on each episode. So my name is Chris Macioch, and I am the founder, owner of Oceanport Paddle Club. And a podcast is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Now, let's talk about Oceanport Paddle Club, and I'll talk a little bit about my background. Oceanport Paddle Club, and if you want to jump in on this too, if you think I've missed anything.
Like you can't spell podcast without OPC.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's a good observation. There you go.
Right?
Yeah, you might be a regular guest on the show. So Oceanport Paddle Club is a kayak and paddleboard rental business. We also do instruction. We also do kids camps called River Kids. We are located in Oceanport, New Jersey. A lot of cool stuff going on in Oceanport, New Jersey. We have Monmouth Park right up the road, and we have Netflix building a movie studio right there. I can see it. If my shoulder wasn't bad, I could probably throw a stone at it. Wow. Back in my prime. Anyway, Oceanport Paddle Club. We are on Oceanport Creek. We also do parties here. We have a really good vibe. I'm going to call it paddleboard business. I call it more like a place that brings you joy and happiness, which it does to me. This is a passion for me. I've never been anyone that chased a dollar, even though dollars are nice. But I find a way to make a little bit of a living doing things I love. And this place I'm very proud of. I'm proud of everyone who's involved that's helped shape this. My employees, I love them all. They're like family. And I'm so fortunate to have the employees that I have. And I do have my family working here. You'll see Cameron walking around. She's cleaning up. She's been wanting to go home for the past 2 hours, but you're familiar with that. So Oceanport Paddle Club, great vibe, paddling, kayaking. And we also have another location in Keensburg. We do some stuff. We do private camps, and they come in. We service other day camps. A little bit of background about me. I live in Oceanport. I am married for I'll be 25 years old. God. To Jen Macioch. I have 3 children, from oldest to youngest. Drew, who is a senior, will be a senior. She just finished her junior year at the University of South Carolina. Cameron, who is working the dock right now. She just finished her freshman year at Virginia Tech, and Christian, who is a freshman going into his sophomore year at Shore Regional High School right up the road here. And Sam, the dog, he is our official mascot walking around. Always been into water sports, grew up lifeguarding on the beach in Manasquan. That was my home. I did that for over 20 years. I missed it. I miss it. I love it. I would love to go back. But what happened was I had kids and I was still lifeguarding. And my wife said, you know, it was kind of cool when you were young and you were a lifeguard. But now, you know, you got responsibilities. You're stuck on a stand and you're paying you like $10 an hour. I'm like, ah. So then I started teaching surfing. She actually, I think, gave me a, she said, why don't you like surfing up this way? Because Manasquan was like a 40-minute commute, traffic. So I started doing surf instruction and got into paddling, loved paddling. We lived in Long Branch on the river, and I'm almost done. And I don't want you to add about OPC. We lived in a townhouse and started having kids, and we really grew out of the townhouse. We had to move inland. I mean, it's a couple blocks over there, but it was such a pain in the ass getting my board out of the garage, putting it on the car, driving to a location, take it off, put it in the water, and then finally I'm paddling, and then when I'm done, it's like, okay, repeat, reverse.
Yeah.
The logistics were just a pain in the butt. On a paddle one day, I came across this marina, and I was like, wow, this could be a paddleboard club. And I just like that, boom. And then they opened the restaurant. Mario bought the property, opened the restaurant, and I pitched him the idea. And he was like, you think anybody's going to do that? I'm like, yeah, give me a shot. And he did. And now we're going to our 9th season. And like I said, I feel like this is one of my purposes in life. I love doing this. So that's enough about me. You'll find out more. I'll add stuff as we go. You want to mention anything about OPC before we hear about you?
No, I think you covered. I think you covered the foundations of the origins of OPC.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. I covered it well. Cameron, you want to just say hi real quick? That's Cameron over there. Just come stand here for a second. Sam, you can't see him. He's right here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. The nozzle? There's 2 of them there, I think, in Sam's dish. And just wheel that to the back. Good job. All right. Can we move to you now? Can we hear some stuff about you?
Sure. My name's Sean White. I'm the less famous Sean White, the one with the smaller bank account. You might have heard of another one.
Not the snowboarder guy?
No,
wait, all this time, you're not that guy.
I know. It's Chris just found out. He hired the wrong guy. I've been an avid paddler for quite a while, but I worked corporate gig as a graphic designer and running an in-house print shop for many years, like close to 2 decades, and left that life in 2020. And then I think it was 2022. Yeah, I think it was in 2022. Actually, I think we started talking in 2021 at the end of the season.
Correct.
And it was just, there wasn't much going on because it was the end of the season. We said, oh, well, hey, let's kind of like get, let's connect.
I'm going to interrupt you because I heard about you first from Jen. Oh my goodness, Lampert.
Yeah, Jen Lampert.
Jen Lampert. Of mine. And she's involved with the Half Moon and
Half Moon restaurant in Kingsburg.
And they had me, and they wanted me to do paddleboards there, and I started doing them. And she's like, "You got to meet my friend Sean. He wants to come and possibly work with you." And she just blew you up, and I said, "Okay," and then go ahead.
Yeah, so there wasn't much going on. We said, well, let's stay in touch. And I think I was working in a restaurant. I was jamming at a restaurant, and that was coming to an end. It just wasn't going well. I said, let me reach out to Chris again. and see what's going on. And you and I just started like talking, and had a lot of similar interest, and a lot of good skill sets that could be used. And you kind of needed somebody predominantly for the Keensburg location in a more managerial role, and everything sounded great to me. So I started up with the 2022 season, and yeah, everything's been great since then.
I'm listening, but the dog, there's something in that toy bin that he wants. I don't want him knocking the camera over. No, I'm keeping track right now. Yeah, just text me. I have a spreadsheet, okay? Make sure you button that up. Thank you, Cameron. MVP. Leave the dog here. Dog, come on, come here. Throw this ball so he doesn't get obsessed by what's in there. No, get out of there, Sam. Stand out. Come on.
Come on.
Thank you. So, yeah, I remember you coming here, and I think you booked a lesson actually with Jimmy.
I did book a lesson because I wanted to see what everything was about.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that was necessary. I would have definitely comped you, but you didn't.
Listen, I like to do my homework and my research, and see how things go.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, and Sean did take on a good managerial position, and I could tell you that he goes above and beyond. He's very knowledgeable. He knows all about paddling sports. He has years and years of experience. He is the most creative employee that I have. His social media posts that he does on a whim are just excellent, and I appreciate everything you do. Now, Keensburg is kind of there but not there, so we've incorporated him into the regular work week here at the Oceanport location, and very happy about that.
Yeah.
And
it's a shorter commute for me, so I like it too.
Yeah. And he'll be here. What's the schedule again? I don't know.
I am here all day on Monday. I'm going to be running camps on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and then I'm morning shifts 8:30 to 2:30 on Fridays and on Saturdays.
Okay.
So if you come on Sunday, you will not see me, but I am here every other day of the week, and also doing sunset paddles, other programs like adult summer camps.
Let's pitch that in a second. I'm gonna have you talk about your programs too. Sunset paddles is something we didn't mention. They are scheduled starting right now. I don't want to talk about the hours in the schedule. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. The times vary because of the sunset. It is a timed paddle. Don't be late. Don't be late. You know who you are. There's a certain group that comes a lot, always late. Because we really want everyone to get the peak sunset in the right part of the river.
Yeah.
And even if it's cloudy, it looks beautiful. Like, these sunsets are amazing. Think of the regular items that we have sunset paddles, we have lessons, we have the River Kids camp. Oh, the schedule I want to talk about. So right now, today is opening day. It's chilly. It's been slow. There's been some members here bringing equipment. They didn't even go paddling. I'm used to that. And we got a lot of maintenance done. Actually, there's still a bunch to get done. There's so much maintenance and stuff that needs to be done. And we have a whole list of things to do tomorrow. So we're open every weekend now. And the first booking's available at 8, last one's available at 5. You can do an hour rentals. You can do 2.5 hours, 4 hour, a half day, a full day, but depending on what time you reserve. So we have kayaks, we have paddle boards. Mega Sup will be available. The old Mega Sup we had died. God rest his soul. It is an inflatable paddleboard. It's like an 8-person paddleboard. It's fun. It's a lot of work. We had to call on some marriage counselors after we sent that thing out. There's been people fighting when they come back, like, "Hey, you weren't doing it right." So those are most of our regular. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to do here, a lot of activities. And now this year, I added, and I'm very excited about this, super stoked about this, a class package. And we have 5 different classes. Is it 5 or 6?
Yeah.
6 different classes. We have 6 different classes. I'm just looking at I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
graphic in my head, and it's even. 6 different classes. You can buy a package and apply your code and mix and match whatever classes you want. The more sessions you buy, the more discount you get. All right. So, for example, I'll just give you mine for now because I'm gonna have you pitch yours. I do something called Focus and Fury. Focus and Fury, and thank you for coming. You came to my kickoff of it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It's sort of a fitness class where nobody's kind of in charge. I think everyone's an equal. I just kind of facilitate it. As a matter of fact, people are like, oh, I like doing it this way. Let's do it that way. And it's kind of place where we share what we're doing. We share our pains. We all had a lot of pains. We share our injuries and we share our successes and we talk about nutrition and supplements. And I'm pretty big into that. And all right, so anyway, so if you wanted just to take that class and you want to buy a class package, that would cost you $50, right? And my class is like an hour and 15 minutes. But if you buy a class package, you can buy a 4-pack, and that's $100. So that means you're getting that class for $25 if you use your code. And then you can also take the other classes like SUP Yoga. We have mindfulness on the tides, where we have an occupational therapist, yes, who does meditation and breathing and stuff, and just kind of, I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
I need that. I need to chill. Sean can tell you. We also have, I'm trying to think the classes that you don't do. We have Paddle Fit, Jamie Gray. She's a big fitness instructor. Sean met her first actually, and kind of interviewed her and vetted her and like, this girl is the real deal. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to her. And thank you for doing that. And then there's one more that I'm missing. I got mindfulness on the tides. I got SUP Yoga. That's taught by a local girl, Laura Kakamis. I used to lifeguard with her husband for years out in Manasquan Beach, and then they moved to town. Good family. We have mindfulness on the tides. That's 2 different therapists that'll be trading that on and off. My class, Focus Fury, that's 4. All right, and then there are 2 more, which I'm super excited about because Sean just kind of took the reins and created these, and the 2 other classes, which if you break down his hourly rate on one, I mean, he's better off working. I don't even think he's getting minimum wage. But,
yeah, I can make more money in a deli. But
let's talk about those 2.
All right, so yeah, so the first one that he's referring to is something that kind of started as a little bit of a joke with some friends of mine. We were watching Cobra Kai on Netflix based on the Karate Kid series, and I came up with this logo for Cobra Kayak, where it's paddle hard, paddle fast, no mercy. So I wanted,
hopefully I can edit and flash that. It's a freaking awesome one.
So I wanted to do a program where we do a little bit of a longer paddle, right? I think most of the time when we do lessons, it's like 75 minutes long, or if you go out for like a rental, it's about an hour. So I have a great paddle that I like to do around here, and it takes us all the way around. It takes us back into Fort Monmouth. It takes you under bridges. It takes you through tunnels, under roadways. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that I do all the time, and so I really enjoy it. But it can't be done quickly. It takes a little while longer. So a round trip, if we can get it in, is about a 6-mile paddle, or we'll cap it off time-wise at 3 hours. So it's either going to be 3 hours or 6 miles, whichever we get done first. But that's a fun one for me because it's just really kind of getting out and like doing more of like a hardcore paddle and putting your skills and your endurance to the test. So I enjoy that one a lot. And then another program.
Hold on, before we move on.
Okay.
I had some comments on that. So tunnels, underground,
Under
paddling,
roadways.
under roadways,
Yes.
paddling through, Cobra kayak, 3-hour tour.
I never say 3-hour tour.
I know.
Gilligan's Island's taught us never to say 3-hour tour.
So you're saying all of that, and if I buy a class package,
Mm-hmm.
4 sessions for $100, I'm getting all that for $25.
Yes. If you buy a class package, yes.
And do I have to bring my own equipment?
No.
Everything's
included.
That's incredible.
Kayaks included, paddles, PFDs, everything's included. Tour guide,
Comedy relief.
comedy relief. This is just something that that I wanted to do. You know, like when Chris and I were talking about it, he's like, "Well, you know, maybe you can shorten it up because you're not really gonna, you know, price point why." And I'm like, you know what? I want to do this program the way that I want to do it, and I would rather not make as much on it for myself to do it right. Because for me, it's about the experience of our guests.
Right.
It's about, you know, everybody getting out, having fun, being safe, and just enjoying themselves and having an awesome experience.
So, and that was a big concern for me because everyone's time is valuable, all right, including your time. And I appreciate you coming and doing this. And when he told me the time, and the deal is pretty much the same for everyone. So when I do these classes and I bring in independent contractors to teach them, this is the deal. It's 50-50. So whatever comes in, 50% goes to the business, and you get paid 50% of the, you know, enrollment. And also too, there's another thing. If you need help setting up, you got to pay a kid to help set you up.
Yeah.
Too. So that's I will be there for the first class. I sometimes I go there for other ones too. I just can't keep myself away. But I'm there the first one, make sure everything goes. You don't have to pay me the first time. I'm there to support you and make sure you succeed. And so I was like, Sean, you're worth a lot more than that. That's the only thing. And I commend you for just saying, this is how I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew the deal. And yeah, it's exciting.
Listen, it's a type of paddle I do on my own for free anyway. Right. So it's one that I absolutely enjoy, and I feel like getting back through Fort Monmouth and back into the nooks and crannies, back in you know, in Parker Creek and Wampum Brook and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to happen once the Netflix studios go in, and how much access we're going to have to that water back there. You know. So
I don't think they can restrict.
I know, but I know they shouldn't be able to. But you know, if they got you know, if they got big name celebrities hanging about back there, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a little bit more watchful eyes on the waterways with people rolling up in kayaks and stuff. So,
there are nonprofits that will contact right away.
Yeah, no,
Netflix is going to be a good neighbor.
Yeah,
and we're going to work with them hopefully.
Yeah,
and they actually may have to. You might have to get your SAG card, because if you're in the background, they're going to have to pay you, I think.
Well, yeah, I think so.
But that's awesome. That is a class that I'm looking forward to doing. Not all the time, but there's something that I want to revisit too. Remind me. I want to talk about the tide ride later too. Before we go. But that sounds so cool, and I appreciate you doing that and creating that, and the whole concept, the name, everything is awesome. Everything is awesome, and you know, unfortunately, you got to explain that to your wife. Like, how much are you getting paid to?
Oh, she understands.
Okay.
We've talked about this. She gets it. She understands the fact that it's like, when I have a vision and I want to execute it a certain way, everything else falls by the wayside. It's like, this has to be executed the right way, and have it be a program that I want to be able to stand behind it as the lead on it. I want to be able to stand behind it as an OPC program.
Well, there's
So,
another acronym that fits in there. It's called OCD as well.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and I share that.
Gee, I've never been accused of that at all, ever. But no, it's just going to be a really really fun paddle, and we have two of those scheduled um, this season, so that's going to be a lot of fun doing those.
All right.
And then I have the other program that I had been thinking about for a while, and I've run it past people, and everybody always gets excited about it because we have like these great camps with kids. We have the River Kids Camp here in Oceanport. We have Bayshore Buddies out in Keensburg, and it's a great time. We spend 3 days working with the kids, teaching them how to paddle, playing games. There's always on the third day a pizza party, and it's so much fun. And I get to do that every week, which is awesome. And all the parents get to, you know, they come in all depressed, dropping off the kids because they know the kids are going to be having a ton of fun, and they have to go home and work. And then they pick them up, and the kids are like, "Yeah, we had a great time and everything." And the kid. So I'm like, you know what? The parents need this too. Adults need this, right? We need to like release our inner child every so often and just have fun.
And I've heard parents say, you know, they come on the last day. Well, they come every day, but on the last day, they're kind of like see the kids, the smiles on their face, and they're like, "Man, I wish I could experience that."
Yeah.
And I've heard it over and over again, and I'm usually like onto the, "Oh yeah, well, you know, rent a paddleboard," and then you thought of the idea of creating this.
Yeah, so I created a new program that we're starting this year that will be running a couple times over the season called the Inner Child Summer Camp. So this is an adult only, you know, hour and a half long mini summer camp for adults. We'll go out, we'll do all the same things. We're going to teach you how to paddleboard. If you don't know how to paddleboard, we're going to give you all the basics. We're going to give you a little bit you know, some techniques and tips and tricks. And then we're just going to play games that help emphasize paddling skills and balance and all like these things. And we're just going to have a great time. And we're going to get out in the water. We're going to have a bunch of fun. And then when we get off the water, we're also going to have a pizza party because what's camp without a nice little pizza party?
Right.
Because it's an adults only camp. If you want to bring some adult beverages and leave them here at the shed, we have a refrigerator. You can drop stuff in. So when we get done, we get off the water, we have some pizza. We got our beach area with our Adirondack chairs. We're going to have music going. You can bring some beverages if you want. We can just kind of hang out and chill, listen to some music, and just you know, talk about how much fun that we had. So that's another one that I'm really excited about because I get to do that every week. And I cannot stress enough how happy that makes me every week, being able to go out with the kids, playing games, having fun out on the water. And I think everybody deserves to be able to do this. So that's why I wanted to create this program this year and let the adults get out and have some fun too.
All right, so every Thursday at camp, which is the last day, it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the pizza party for the kids. And so that's, I'm assuming where the pizza theme came. I don't really eat pizza anymore. You know,
oh, that's a shame.
I'm purely protein. And now, listen, I'm going to do my plug right now. I figured this is a good time to do it. So I'm a protein freak, and if you were doing resistance training, which Sean reminded me, I kind of made a post the other day about how much protein I intake daily. That's if you're doing resistance training. You definitely want to get, and a rule of thumb is like a gram per pound of body weight. And it's hard to do. Have you ever tried doing it per body weight?
Oh, it's incredibly difficult to get that much protein in without massively going over your calorie counts.
Right. Unless the main thing in your diet, which is for me, is protein. And it's done wonders for me. It has transformed my physique. I don't know what my fat count but it's just, I have a lot of extra skin in my stomach now. But whatever. But I feel good.
You're gonna put a picture of that up, right?
Oh yeah, close up. Yeah. I mean, oh my God, just think about all the girls pouring in here after they see that. Just kidding. But to get that is difficult. And without supplementation, I wouldn't be able to do it. I can't just keep eating steak and steak. So I snack on protein. I do if I feel like having a sweet for dessert, I make a protein smoothie. And I've been using Phorm products, which I'm affiliated with now. You know, I am pushing their product to incentivize me, and then they take care of me. Um, but I love meat sticks, and these. Not saying just because I'm affiliated with Phorm now, but these protein sticks are the bomb. And throughout the podcast, you're more than happy to take one, and I want your honest opinion on it.
Okay.
All right. So that's jalapeno cheddar, it's my favorite flavor. And I'll have samples, but I'll leave a link up if you guys want to order some Phorm stuff. Please order it through my link. This way I can keep these products coming in for my staff, for my guests, for the samples. And listen, it's not, it's not like it's going to make me rich, but I get a little bit of a commission off this stuff, so I appreciate it, and it just keeps the stuff in the door. Anyway, that being said, gram for body weight. I don't even know what for dinner tonight, but probably just protein. So, okay, so we heard about your programs. We have Cobra Kayak, awesome name, genius, and Inner Child Summer Camp. I love it. Cannot wait to do those. Anything else you want to add, things that you do? Because there are a couple things that I forgot about. I got it right here. But I'd like to hear more about you. Oh, can we talk about, before I move on to the OPC items, I'm just making a note so I don't forget. So the full moon and the tide ride. Tell me a little bit, because when I thought about who my first guest would be, you no-brainer, you work here, you know about the program, and then your experience with podcasting.
I started a podcast when it was still in its, really in its infancy. I ran a podcast starting in 2006. I started it, and it was a music-based podcast. It was about 2 hours long. I did it every other week. It was really focused on a lot of independent, unsigned artists, a lot of local New York artists, and I was doing it like when there wasn't much in the way of podcasting.
And that's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
nobody was doing podcasting.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So I started doing it because I always thought it would be cool. I've been a huge music fan since I was very young. And I always thought it'd be like such a cool job to be like a radio disc jockey, like be a DJ and like talk about it. And but I never went to school for that, so it's like the likelihood of anybody hiring me to do that was slim. And I ended up getting a new laptop around that time, and I realized with the audio editing programs that came in, I was using GarageBand a lot back then. Like I could do this myself, and I thought it'd be like a fun thing to do. Like my friends would listen to it. I'd do it for a couple of months, and then that would be the end of it. Right?
I have to assume that it was a lot of work back in the day.
It was. I got really quick at it. I got really quick at audio editing. So a lot of it was, doing the whole thing and being the sole person behind it. It was, putting together playlists, being the on-air talent. We'll air quote that. Doing the editing, doing the social media posts, doing all the graphics. It was a lot of work, and it was something that I wasn't making any money off of it. Like I was losing money doing this. But it was a thing that I wanted to do. This kind of goes back to following your passions and fulfilling them in the way that you envision them.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I'll do this for a couple of months. My friends will listen to it. It'll be cool. As it turns out, none of my friends were listening to it. But I started
kind of like how this podcast will be. But
I just started meeting different bands from around the world. And I could say, close to 20 years on since it started, and I did that for like 9 years. I finished it in 2015. It kind of ran its course. I still have really good friends in France. I have really good friends down in Brazil. friends in Germany, people that I met from doing the podcast, and like meeting their band, like learning about their bands and playing their music on the show. And then sometimes, particularly like, I've been out to France quite a few times, and getting to meet people in person and stuff. So it was really, really cool. But it was like, I think I finished doing my podcast around the time that podcast started taking off, and you could actually make like, really good money doing them.
You only had one more year.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. So I was way ahead of the curve on it.
Did you ever monetize on it at all?
No, I never did. Like I said, you have to consistently, doing all the work. Your time is worth something, and I was putting a lot of time into it. And you have to keep up on technology, and so new laptops, new microphones, new ways to do like interviews, kind of like your whole setup here. Like you have to invest in all this stuff to be able to do it,
right.
And it all costs money. Yeah. So if you're doing it for the love of it, that's great. If you're going in because you're like, I'm going to do this because I can make a lot of money, in most things in life, it never pans out that way. Right. So if you follow your passions, like you said, like this looks like a great place for a paddle club, I'm going to go like do that. And well, yeah, I like aligning myself with people that are the same way like me, where they have a passion for something and they want to see it through.
And people that are like, who's going to do that? Like, yeah. I got a lot of resistance from family members. Like, yeah, like this is another one of your. There were a lot of things that, oh, this will be great. Yeah, and I total bomb. But that's what entrepreneurs do. Yeah, that's what creative people do. And without that,
pans out. Sometimes it doesn't.
If you're not doing that, I think you're killing your soul every day. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, you have to be creative. You have to do those things that you have passions for. Otherwise, you're just working a 9 to 5, which I have as well. And you mentioned you didn't go to school for that. You said
no.
Nobody does what they go to school for, except for accountants and engineers and doctors, and lawyers. But everybody else is like, oh, I didn't go to school for education. I just ended up doing, and that's what my daytime job is, which I'm retiring from next year most likely. And I'm very excited about it because then I can pursue these things I'm passionate for.
Yeah.
All right? I'm not a guy, as you are, who can just sit around. And I know some people are like, I can't wait to get my pension, man. Yeah. I'm just going to sit on the couch and eat potato chips. I'm like, dang, that sounds depressing.
Yeah, I mean, I left corporate life almost just almost like 5 years ago, and there's money in the bank. The house is paid off. It's I'm afforded the opportunities of being able to do like different things. But people ask me about like retirement. I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means. I can't just sit in the house all day long, just watching TV. And
well, I'm in a little different situation where I don't know what that looks like either. I feel the same way about it, but I can't afford to retire either because my children, just every dollar that I make, just it's like it disappears. Like, wait, it was there. Oh, you needed braces. You need
Well,
anyway.
See, that's why I didn't have kids, so I could do it.
Yeah. And we talk about that. Like, man, we didn't have kids. We'd have money. We'd be going on vacation. We'd be able to afford things. Anyway, that's for another podcast.
It's a whole other podcast.
Yes. I just went off on a tangent. But you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Real quick, I want to just touch on your corporate job, the corporate world that you came from. Mm-hmm. It was creative, though. Did you find joy in that creativity?
Yes and no. I worked as a creative director. I was a graphic designer. I did that for about 20 years. And everyone's like, oh my God, it must be so great. You get to be creative. And it's like, yes, that's true. But I worked for a financial firm and all of my clients were bankers. So you have to adhere to company graphic guidelines.
Right.
So you're kind of in a box on that. And then you have to, figure out what your client wants and that's not always super creative. So, you might have a client that goes, "Hey, we're inviting a whole group of people to a baseball game. Can you make an invitation that has a picture of somebody playing baseball?" And it's like, "Wow, did you come up with that on your own?" It's
Right.
pretty on the nose. So there was a lot of instances where you're not getting to really you know you know spread your wings as far as creativity goes because you're still doing very like corporate design.
And you're trying to create other people's visions.
Yeah,
And
you're trying to make clients happy,
yeah,
and you're trying to push boundaries. You're trying to come up with something that's very creative, but you also have to be mindful of what the client wants as well. So you're always walking, that edge back and forth. And sometimes you can come up with stuff that were like really great, and other times you like look at it and you go, "Wow, the client loves this, but
yeah,
I hate it."
yeah.
You know. Um, so it's tough. Like anytime you're in a creative field, but you're not just doing everything for yourself, like you're not executing your own creative vision, it becomes a really, really interesting tightrope to walk.
I think it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a little bit of experience. I designed web pages back in the day, and I found it fun. I started doing it myself, creating, and so I started doing it for other people. And it's like, oh, I'm so juiced about this. Oh, let me do this. And I put so much time, and then they're like, oh, that's not really what I was thinking. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it. And
Yeah, I had a fun thing where you'd always give clients multiple designs, right? Whenever they ask for something. So, and I always felt like the more that you gave them, the more choices you gave them, the harder it was for them to make decisions. So I would always give two really what I viewed as two really solid design concepts, and then a third one would be a throwaway. You're like, okay, I'm going to give it like a bad one because then this way, they have just two to choose from instead of three. And there'd be times that you go like, I like the third one, and you just want to go, no, that's terrible. What are you even thinking?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like a daily life for me there. I would do like anywhere from 250 to 300 different design jobs a year, which is just crazy. It's like one a day basically, and running a print shop. So it was a bit of a grind. There was a lot of aspects that I enjoyed. I loved the team that I worked with, but I don't think sitting behind a desk was really what was right for me. And I've kind of found that since I've left that, I can't ever picture going back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Creating. I'm going to jump. If you look around OPC, all these racks, the podium over here, the kiosks, the benches, these paddleboard racks. That is something that my passion. I love creating these things. I designed all that. I designed on the computer first on a CAD program, and then build it. And then my dad's always like, "Man, be a builder. Like be a designer, a builder. Like if you move to Florida, you be wealthy. You'd be able to." I go, "Yeah, but I'm building for other people. Like I just want to build for myself.
Yeah,
it's going to create for me." And that's the whole thing, driven by passion, not motivated by the dollar, which I get a lot of crap for at home too. Like, go make some money. Yeah, but I want to do this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I want to do a podcast. But thank you for relating, and it's good to be around like-minded people too.
Absolutely.
And we feed each other's passions. The creativity just seems to flow, and I like to give you the freedom to create these things. And I encourage you, and I've been encouraging you to do a class for a while, and I was so happy when you said you wanted to do this. All right. Let me talk about two more things, and I'm going to have you end it, because there are two more things I want to talk about that are on the menu.
Okay.
The full moon paddle. This is another thing. The reason I dropped it is because it's almost like I was losing money on it. My time. So I did this full moon paddle thing a couple of years ago, and everyone's invited to the full moon paddle. You could bring your own stuff. I don't charge you. Just come, full moon paddle. You can rent something if you don't want to bring your stuff. And it got popular. A lot of people came. And it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of responsibility. And it was mostly people who just wanted to come and hang out, watch full moon, and have a couple
Mhm.
cocktails, um, and then I kind of dropped it because I'm like, I started thinking about my time, my time.
Mhm.
I could do something else and be more profitable. And then I just stopped doing it. And there's only 4 full moons throughout the summer. Like, what?
Yeah.
It was. Why did I drop it? It was I being greedy? I don't know. But I'm like, man, it was such a good vibe. And going back through the pictures, I was looking at all these people that came, community, people that lived around here, and people said, man, remember those full moon paddle? Yes, I do. I had a good time. And I
Yeah.
got to stop thinking of it as like, hey, if I'm not being profitable, why should I be here
Yeah.
to offer this? That's not what it's about. That's
Yeah.
not what Oceanport Paddle Club is about. It is about community, having fun, and spreading the positive vibes only.
Absolutely.
So I brought that back this year. That's not a new item. Now, this next thing, I love this paddle. Did you ever do it with
I've
me?
never done it. No.
Okay. This is called the Tide Ride. And the Tide Ride, I'm a big proponent of covering ground without working hard. I always like to try to work smart, not hard.
Mhm.
That's been always my philosophy. And I like my employees to do the same. I see them busting their backs, lifting paddleboard. I'm like, no, don't do it that way. And I try to teach them the technique where you don't use your
Yeah.
back and you balance the board on the water. And anyway, and that's why I built these racks right on the water too, because I don't want. We used to keep all the boards up here, and they used to have to haul them down. And that also goes with my outdoor activities too. I like to work out at times. I do. I do get a high from long distance paddles. I tried years ago running, and like once or twice in my running career, which I'm a bad breather, I hit that runner's high. I'm like, ooh, this is cool, right? And I get it paddling, but I also like the idea. If I don't really feel like paddling, I want to be able to get where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I'm a big proponent on tides and current and riding the current. As a matter of fact, when I did the sea paddle,
Mhm.
we changed course. We used to go. This was a charity paddle that I helped organize for years. They dubbed me the incident commander. I don't know what that means. I guess I was responsible for if anybody heard. But anyway, they used to paddle from Chelsea Piers to under the Brooklyn Bridge. And when you go around Manhattan, and that was like 28 miles, in that direction, you have to fight the current in one of the rivers. So they always picked the Harlem River because it was the quietest. So you go up the Hudson, make it right into Harlem, and down the East River. But you had to fight. There's no way
Yeah.
you can not have a current against you.
Exactly.
I'm like, that seems kind of crazy because if you went the other way, I did the calculations. Like, you can have the current with you the other way. Yeah, but the party needs to end up at South Street Seaport. I'm like, all this for a party? Like, charity. The cause was great. Environmental initiatives, autism. But dude, you can party anywhere. So I pitched, we talked about it. Let's go the other way. And going the other way, you have the current with you. So you always get the south wind though in your face on the home stretch though, because you're coming from the north
Yeah.
to the south. Anyway, and that overpowers it. But the current can be with you. You can get low, you can ride the current. As a matter of fact, at the start up the East River, you go through an area called Hellgate when you're moving south to north. It's so fast. People were like, "Hey man, where's Hellgate?" I'm like, "You guys just went through it. You just flew so fast."
Yeah.
Um, but riding that current is fun. And it was a big lead into this. So there are some really strong currents around here, especially starting in the Shrewsbury, heading towards the Navesink, along Seabright, along their bulkhead there, all the way up to Sandy Hook. When that tide pulls out, it freaking moves.
Oh yeah.
it moves. And as a matter of fact, I remember one year I timed the tide. I'm like, I want to see if I could fight it. I just want to see what happens. So I went to that Rumson Bridge, and I knew that it was going slack soon. And I started like trucking. I'm like, yeah, I'm making it. I couldn't do it. So I just got sucked through the bridge, and I waited by Barley Point, slack tide, and I was able to paddle home.
Yeah.
But riding that and not having to paddle back is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I started doing this one paddle where I would leave from this creek and I'd leave a car in Sandy Hook, usually by like Mast, where the where those government
Officers Row.
yeah, officers row there. So the night before, I'd leave a car there and just ride that current out. I was doing 8-minute miles without any effort, and I had my Walkman on, and I saw a bunch of big chewed up fish from sharks. So I'm like, oh God, I want to fall. The water gets so clear, and I get in the zone there. It is, and then listen, if I get a little tired, I just ride out the current.
Yeah.
Let it ride. It is so much fun. Now going to the end of Sandy Hook is a little tough, but an easy one, which we can easily do in 2 hours, is from here to the proving grounds. And I've done it before where I didn't have to leave the car there. I'm like, hey, Jen, you want to go for dinner? Yeah, sure. All right, pick me up at the proving grounds, but bring me a change of clothes and bring straps for my paddleboard. So we did that. And paddled to the proving grounds. Everyone's eating dinner. I'd walk up my paddleboard. What the hell is this guy going? Change real quick, have dinner, and then drive my paddleboard home. So I've turned that experience into an event or a menu item at Oceanport Paddle Club. It's called Tide Ride, and you have to do it. I hope you do it one of these times.
Yeah.
Now, I've timed it that each one that's on the calendar, when we get there, there's going to be live music.
That's awesome.
So I will have transportation back for the participants, whoever signs up, or not. I'll bring their boards back.
Yeah.
Because who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're
They might want to stay longer and Uber back.
Right. And so that's called Tide Ride. And who is it for? What do you think? Who would fit that customer profile?
I feel like that is, I would say for someone who feels comfortable paddling, because it is a little bit of a longer paddle, and you're going to be out into some more open areas and potentially areas with more boat traffic and stuff like that. But someone who's comfortable paddling and likes to do a little bit more adventurous things, right? There's a lot of people who are completely fine with just being around here, staying in the coves and everything like that. Maybe not so much for them,
right.
But for somebody that's like, you know what, I want to try something. I want to try something fun. I want to be a little bit more adventurous. I want to get out there a little bit more. I think for individuals like that, this is a great program.
I agree. Thank you for that. And I just want to get your opinion on it. Now, I would not recommend for your weekend paddler just to go do it by yourself, because it has to be time with the current. Mm-hmm. And you definitely want to go with somebody who's done it before, who has also been on even longer paddles and has first aid CPR. I mean, you're going to be fine. If you get tired, you can sit down.
Yeah.
And you can just ride it out. And that I find out a lot from doing lessons, which I've seen you are great at it. As a matter of fact, you definitely have more patience a lot of times than me with some of our customers. And we both have different instruction styles for sure. But you want to go with someone who can calm you down. Like, because I've seen almost a majority of lessons where people get anxious, and they're really getting in their own head.
Absolutely.
And that's where a good instructor, a good waterman comes in and says, you're totally fine. Just listen to me. Stop focusing on what you're focusing on. Usually, They're hyper focused on something that has nothing to do with the current situation. We get them out of their head. It's almost like we're therapists, and that's why you want to be with a professional when doing these types of paddles. So don't just try it on your own, because
Yeah.
because that people panic. That's when they get in trouble. It's not that they're physically able.
Yeah.
They just get in their own head.
Oh yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. Sometimes I just have to sit there and say to people, listen, I got you. You're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. There's no problems. I'm not going to let anything happen to you, because yeah, it can be scary out on the water. It's my catchphrase like is always like, this is not designed to be in the water, right? We don't have gills. We can't breathe underwater. I don't care how good you can swim. You know, sometimes being out in the water can be a scary thing, particularly with other things going on like jet skis or boats and stuff like. You need to have somebody who is going to be 100% comfortable out there with you,
right?
And just say, no, it's okay. I got you.
Right.
We're good. We're gonna get through this. Don't panic.
And you never want to go alone.
Oh, absolutely not.
And even we are both very confident in our ability, but there's a point where we need to have someone with us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I do go paddles on my own, but I just stay within. I'm not. Would I do the tide? Yeah, I would do the tide ride because I've done it so many times on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part of me. One year we attempted to paddle to New York City from here, and I crunched those calculations. I crunched those tides, and that's another one where you gotta just you're going to be fighting the current if you don't wait.
Yeah.
And I forget which lighthouse I had it mapped out. We were supposed to wait for 45 minutes, and there were 6 of us who did it, and the conditions seemed good. I remember I was sick too. I was caught, and Jen's like, "You're going to do this tomorrow?" I go, well, "We've raised money. I cannot not do it." And
I've been planning this for so long. So
right, I'm like, "It's a cold. I'll survive." But anyway, so the next day, and I'm nervous, and we go do this, and I remember a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention any names, was there, like, "Hey man, can I get a picture of you on your paddleboard?" I'm like, "Dude, just I'm nervous. Like, I'm about to paddle 30 miles. Like, could you just let me be in my zone?" Anyway, so the guys I was with were very, very fit, and they're a lot younger than me. I was the oldest one by far, by at least 10 years, and started off strong. And then, man, the conditions were not what they were supposed to be. We had a crosswind. It was supposed to be a light south wind pushing us there.
that happened.
And I must have fell off that paddleboard over 100 times. And the energy to get back on was just, it was horrible.
Yeah.
And then, so I kneeled a lot. My back hurt. Anyway, we got to the lighthouse. These young, strong men were like, "We're not stopping." I'm like, "Guys, you're going to be paddling uphill when we get to New York." They're like, "We don't care." I'm like, "Oh my God." And it was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know what my point was with that. But I'm big into tide. If we ever reversed it, by the way, we can get the current all the way here. The only thing, summer winds, it's always a south wind. You're going to be fighting the freaking wind. So that would be, that I know what they're going to say. I knew where I was going with this. So I have this fantasy that one day I wake up in the morning, bookings are slow, it's a perfect south wind, currents are moving, and I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go by myself. But I would never do that, because also when we did it too, we had safety vessels following us, and we were always in contact. Point being said, don't just try these crazy paddles on your own. Do your homework. Go with a professional like Sean or I. Oceanport Paddle Club. We got you covered.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm pretty impressed. We are about to break 1 hour on our first podcast, and I think it went well.
Yeah,
I think it well. Is anything you want to add? And with, I would let.
No, I mean, I'm really excited for the season. I love getting out on the water myself, but I also love getting everybody else out on the water as well, and you know, making sure that they are safe and having a great time. I love doing the camps. I'm so excited for the camps to start up again, because I just have such a fun time with that and these new programs. I think we're going to have an awesome season, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of our repeat customers coming back and meeting all the new customers that are going to be coming out this year. So I'm excited.
Thank you. And I really do appreciate, I think you are a great, perfect first guest to have. And I just want to remind everyone we are here every weekend now. And then we will be here daily, 7 days a week, starting on June 24th.
23rd.
The 23rd. Thank you.
First camp starts on the 24th.
All right. And on that note, let's wrap it up. The camera's on you. So
All right.
could you end it with what do we say at the end of my all my social media posts? It's on the sign there. My little
Positive vibes only.
positive vibes only. You switch to that camera. So thank you very much. All right, guys. I hope some people do watch this, and I hope this grows. And I had a lot of fun doing it, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, great to be here.
All right. We'll see you. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.